If you need your task assignees to match your project, stick around because in this video we are going to automate that. Welcome to the channel. I'm Darren from Workflow Optimize, and we help people to streamline their processes by implementing no-code tools like SmartSuite. You can find out more and book a free consultation at workflowoptimize.com. In this scenario, we have a project team, and for every task that is created and linked to that project, we want the same team members to be assigned. We are going to use the agency accounts template, so if you'd like to follow along, you can download that from the solution library. And if you don't yet have a SmartSuite account, you can sign up for free using the affiliate link in the description. Once you are into the agency accounts solution, we're going to go into the tasks table and make a change to the projects field. This is the linked record that connects our projects and tasks. And we're going to uncheck the allow linking to multiple records box and update that field. So now a task can only be linked to a single project. The only other changes I've made in this solution is to remove some of the projects and tasks, and I've connected these two tasks to a project. We switch into the projects table. We're going to create in here the first of our two assigned to fields. So this is going to be the project team. We're going to allow multiple entries. We're going to assign some people to the project team and then jump back into our task table. We're going to create a new view just so that we can keep things nice and simple on the display. And we're going to add the second of our assigned to fields. We're going to call this the task team, again allowing multiple entries. The next field that I want to create here is a lookup. And we don't actually need this for the automation to run, but for the purposes of the demonstration, I think it is going to be useful for us to see who's on the project team. And the final field that we're going to add is a formula field. And we're going to use the advanced editor. And the purpose of this formula is to compare the task team with the project team to determine if they are the same, if they are equal. And to do this, we need to convert those two fields into text strings. So the formula for this is going to be text. And the thing that we're going to convert to text first is the task team. I'm just going to show you what that looks like. Let me just add some people to the task team. So our formula is just converting that to a comma-separated text value. Now let's finish the formula. And we want to know if that task team is equal to the project team. And we could use this lookup field, but we are actually going to go into the projects table via the linked record, and we're going to put a dot. This is going to change this field list to show us the linked fields. So it's now showing us fields from the project table, and we can access the project team from there. So what this formula is going to do, if the task team is equal to the project team, it's going to return a yes, and if it isn't, it's going to return a no. What that looks like in our grid view is a tick for yes and blank for no. So if I change this task team here to match the project team, we can see that now everything is matching as indicated by the formula. Next, we are going to create the automation, and we access that from the solution menu. And the trigger that we're going to use is when a record matches a condition. We're going to look to the formula that we just created. And if the result of the formula that we just created is a no, then that means our project and task fields don't match, that's when we want this automation to fire. In order for the automation to update the task team, it first needs to find the corresponding project record. So we need a find records action. And the record that we want to find is in the projects table. We're looking for a single record, and the condition that we're going to use is on the name. So the name in the projects table is the record title or primary key. So we're looking for the record that is equal to, and from these are from the trigger, equal to the projects field. So this is taking the value from the projects field in the trigger and finding the corresponding project. Now let's add a second action. This will be to update records, and the record that we're going to be updating in the tasks table is the record that triggered the automation. The field that we want to update is our task team. SmartSuite now gives us the option in automations to replace, append, or clear values. We are going to stick with the default, which is to replace. If we click in here, we see a list of fields from the trigger, but what we actually want is this project record from the previous step. So if we click this back arrow, we can see here this one called find one record in projects. That was the name given to that search action, that find records action. If we click that, we should see fields from the project table, and we can choose project team from there. So this is going to overwrite the task team with the value from the corresponding project team. Let's add that automation, switch it on. Should name it really. Let's go and name that automation. Right, now let's test it. At the moment we can see that everything matches. If we jump into the project table and add someone to the project team and dive back over to the tasks table, we can see that they no longer match. This will be triggering the automation to run, and in a moment we will see that the task team values are being overwritten with the project team. Now they match again, and the formula result reflects that. If we remove someone from the task team, again these no longer match, so the automation will run and the project team will be overwriting that task team value once again. If we go back to the projects table and remove someone from the projects team, go back to tasks, same thing happens again, they no longer match, automation runs, and the task team is updated. Finally, I want to show you if we create a new record and link it to the same project. Again, they don't match, so the automation will run and the task team field will be populated with those project team members. There you go. As I mentioned earlier, this project team lookup is not used by the formula or the automation, so we can remove that if we want to. So that's how you can keep assignee fields in sync across linked records. I hope that you found this one useful. If you do have a use for this, I'd be interested to hear in the comments. Subscribe if you'd like to see more from me. But that's all for now. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.